All right, we're here with Cameron Young. We're going to watch him nuke some drivers. It's something I've watched on TV a lot. I haven't seen a ton of it in person. What I have seen, I always notice just how high it goes. How high do you hit your driver? It seems like it is
It's
absurd.
Yeah, the hard ones are probably 140 feet-ish.
Can I see one of those?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it.
I'll tee one up a little.
Sure. That's up there.
How close was I?
Let's see. 132 feet.
Okay,
That's
that's
pretty
close.
good. That's a pretty good guess. How does that stack up on the PGA Tour? Is that up there?
I don't know exactly. I would say that's probably a little bit on the higher end, but not like crazy.
Yeah. Are you someone that's always just hit it high like that, or how is
No.
your driver evolution kind of?
Yeah, I'm
kinda
actually, I'm, when it gets going really high is when I know I'm like mechanically a little off. It's usually when I'm like way underneath.
Yeah.
So I've actually been trying to flatten them out a little bit.
This is gonna be a good exercise for you.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Watch how high I can hit this one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I've tried to kind of keep the flight down a little bit more recently. I think just swing wise.
Okay. What was the issue, or what were you struggling with?
I feel like when I start really hitting up on it, like the path gets a little right, so I get some misses both ways, like big hooks or big pushes.
Yeah.
So just trying to kind of be a little bit more neutral, kind of hit some smaller shapes.
You were talking about tee height before we started recording.
Yeah.
Is that how you control a lot of your kind of dispersion stuff? Or
Some,
what's the thought?
yeah, I have kind of like a secondary driver shot. I have like the normal one. That was kind of a little higher one. There's one that's a little lower than that. It's, I would say is more normal.
Let's see that.
Yeah. It was a little low,
So
but
that was definitely
actually-
lower. 185 ball speed.
that was hit really nicely.
You usually play a tight draw like that?
I try.
76 feet, 50 feet lower.
Yeah, that was probably, I would say that was a little on the lower side.
Okay.
I got to hit one more. It should
Okay.
be just a little higher than that.
That feels like the Goldilocks one.
That one was good.
Same ball speed.
Yep.
97 feet.
There
That
you
feels
go.
right. That
That's
feels like
about
what we're
right.
looking for. Carry 304. That one got out there
Perfect.
another like 20 yards.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Oh.
what's the secondary one look like then?
So this is it's like a, we
That's
call it the low
absurd.
tee.
That is like
It's almost on the ground.
almost on the ground.
But what it does is, it's teed up so low that I can't hit it in the middle of the face.
Okay.
So it spins a little bit more and just doesn't go quite as far. And I've just found it really easy to control for the most part. It just,
Almost like hitting it off the deck, but
yeah, but just enough room to play with it. It's not quite as scary.
how high is this going to get up there, you think?
It won't go super low. It'll launch low.
Okay.
But then it'll have
Then
enough
have
spin
that
to kind
slow
of get
rise.
up. Yeah, so it doesn't
Okay.
run as far. It's just it has been a really good shot for me. The spin will probably go up to like close to 3,000.
Right in the back of that golf cart.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot.
185 ball speed again, 60 feet, carry 270. So
Yeah.
where are we hitting that shot?
I actually hit it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Whenever there's like a run out somewhere that I feel like I could get a full driver there.
Yeah.
And I hit it a lot. I probably hit more of these than I do regular drives at this point.
Really?
Yeah, just for control.
Gotta see one more. Yeah, I mean, it seems to work.
Yeah, it just, I can't really explain it, but it seems to go really straight, so I keep hitting it.
So what was that evolution like? When did you put that into play? When did you feel like you had to put that into play? Why? All
Yeah,
those things.
it was right before the British Open. I had been kind of messing around trying to because there's a big gap between driver and 3-wood kind of no matter what I do.
Yeah.
So kind of trying to fill that gap in with like, a big cut or whatever it is, but then you got to start it somewhere you don't want it to end up. So one day I just kind of teed it all the way down. I never minded hitting them off the deck, but you don't think that like that's going to be your go-to shot is like driver off the deck. So
What do people say when they see it? Does it
no
take them
one
a couple
said-
holes to notice what's
Yeah,
going
I feel
on?
like sometimes because it doesn't come out so low a lot of
Right.
the time. It's like not alarming. I feel like if you're just watching the flight.
Right.
So I haven't had a ton of response in the moment, but
Tour
yeah,
players are focused on their own thing. They're not paying attention to your
exactly. But yeah, right before the British Open, and it tends to come out drawing, weirdly enough, which at the British, especially this year, a lot of the hard holes were wind straight off the left with fairways that slope that way. So being able to hit something that doesn't get that high and is drawing just kind of worked out great.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been a really nice, it's something I'm really comfortable with.
Have you always been a drawer of the golf ball?
I've always liked to be.
Yeah.
The driver, I feel like I go through times when I'm really swinging it well, they usually come out a little draw.
Okay.
But the fade, I try to keep myself in a place where the fade is comfortable.
So what changes when you're going to hit a fade, other than the kind of the normal stuff?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of setup. And then for me, it's just typically a matter of trying to be a little bit more kind of on top of it this way and just holding the face. I feel a lot in my left hand. So it's just a matter of kind of holding it with my left hand and not basically making sure the heel wins on the way back.
Let's see what that looks like. It's useful.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's crazy how similar the ball speeds are. They're all very similar, no matter what you've done. It feels like.
Yeah, that low one really is kind of a weird deal. I don't know why it works as well as it does, but it really does work.
You've been on tour a couple years now. I mean, how's your driving kind of changed? Did you start out, you hear a lot of guys playing the Korn Ferry Tour or college golf, or just hit it as far as you can, we'll find it and figure it out. You start tucking pins, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There has to be a little grip in the steering wheel, a little tighter?
A little bit, yeah, probably to my own detriment. I've tried to keep as much of that as I can, but I feel like something like kind of that low T driver is kind of an indication of where my head's at.
Yeah.
I've realized that, that the big one's not for all the time. And as much as I wish that I just could hit it everywhere and like hit it in a space this big, I can't.
Sure.
It's hard. So I feel like I'm trying to keep that as, something I can do, but just something I don't use all the time. And I don't know if that's old age or just wanting to be better at golf, but yeah, it's definitely evolved a little bit. But I think it is important to me to keep that other one because I know that there's times that I can just gain so much on the field with that big one.
How much do people ask you about the pause?
All the time, almost every day.
Well, I hate to add to the pile, but
no, that's all right.
Has that always been there?
Not always, but for a while at this point.
Is it a trigger? Is it something that you feel? Is it what's going through your head?
I don't feel it. My swing feels normal to me.
Feels like you're just up and down.
Yeah, I don't know when it really started. It was probably high school. But it wasn't always there, and I've tried to get rid of it, and I was so bad trying to get rid of it that I just, it's going to be there.
Why would you want to get rid of it? Just
I don't know, because no one else really does it, so it's like I must be wrong. But
there's got to be some, a maturity to keeping it.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's the way I like to think about it anyway.
Exactly. .185 again.
It's just the new Titleist driver. It's so consistent.
When do you hit a point in your career when, you have a pretty big ball speed there, when you're kind of like, okay, enough's enough. Let's focus on what we're doing. Are you still constantly chasing, trying to get a little faster, a little faster, a little faster? No.
No. If I hit 10% more in my fairways, I would take like 172. No, I think I realized that I hit it far enough just to play anywhere. I hit it far. I mean, I don't think my body could take a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And I really would like to play for a while, so I'm not interested in really pushing the limits of what I can do physically. I think that's kind of next for me, is learning to maybe go down just a hair a lot of the time and maintain. I still want to maintain the big one because I just know that if you look at the numbers, not that many people have 185, and there are just going to be times where that's useful.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that could win you a tournament somewhere.
Totally.
But I think for consistency and for kind of the longevity of my career, it might be smart of me to dial it back just a tiny bit.
Let's see shape one. Let's see like the the big peeler cut off that
peeler cut.
left side of the fairway, cutting back to those other kind of
Okay, deal.
waste areas. I feel like that one plays. That wasn't
I'd
a
be
comical
really happy
fade
with
at
that
all.
one.
Yeah.
No, that was.
Put that one in the bag.
I'm okay with that.
185 ball speed.
Right.
How did you grow up? Were you like a artist, I'm going to shape stuff all over the place, or were you, if I can hit it dead straight every time, I'm going to win?
No, more kind of the first.
Yeah.
I was really taught I was taught speed first.
Really?
Learn to use your body to hit it hard.
Yeah.
And then kind of as I got to be into high school, into college, I started to, okay, I should probably figure out like where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So that's been my quest since then. And
is that how you would recommend it to other people?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think speed is very hard to learn once you get to a certain point. I don't know what it's, I think, by the time you're through college, like most people aren't going to find another 7 miles an hour club at speed.
That's deflating to hear, but
yeah.
I appreciate hearing it.
Yeah. But I think you can always improve mechanically.
Yeah.
So to start out with a platform that you have the physical capability to generate more speed than most people,
yeah,
I think has to serve you well in the long run. Because there's only so much speed you can teach. And for the most part, you can teach mechanics and simplicity. So I think that's where you have to start.
Let's go back to the low tee here.
Yeah.
I need to take a photo of just how low this is. People are not going to believe me
For sure.
when I say how low that ball is. Just for comparison's sake. That's blown my mind a little bit. So what are you thinking? Are you trying to hit up on the ball when you're teeing it high, and what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I do hit up on it a little bit when it's teed up normally.
Yeah.
This one, I move a hair more back in the stance, which kind of, if you're thinking about the way the club swings, it's going to be a little bit closer to level. I mean, the more you get up here, the more it's up.
Yeah.
So I move it back a little bit. It should be more neutral. But yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking about it a ton. It's kind of come pretty naturally. I feel like with the irons and stuff, I'm pretty steep. I hit down on it a lot.
Yeah.
So to move the ball back and make a swing more similar to that comes kind of naturally. But yeah, I mean, it's been something I feel like I've really consistently had a lot of confidence in.
Yeah.
So it's been a nice tool for us, for sure.
.184. He's getting tired.
Yeah, I'm tired.
You think you can hit that green Gordon was hitting that over there?
He's longer than me, so probably not, but I will try. All right, how many tries? Did he get one try?
He got as many as he wanted. We were killing time, so.
Okay, cool.
We got, 10 golf balls left.
Perfect.
Take as many as you want.
Oh, I don't know if I can hit it a whole lot more solid, but I missed right.
Oh, we're there. I mean, that was flying to the front edge. Yeah, we can definitely get it.
There's definitely not a whole lot of room for error up there. It's not a big target.
I mean, go in.
Oh, I missed. Damn.
That had to land within like
I'm done.
10 feet of it.
Yeah, that was as good as I can do.
Cam, this is great, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
so
fun.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.